Hey, buddy.
I can hear you now.
Good stuff. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. And you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I have a surprise for you tonight. As you know, we have Mr. Tim Durling with us tonight. He's going to be showing off apparently a Holy Grail. But not only that, but we have the keeper of the Holy Grail list himself.
Oh,
Aaron has decided to drop by tonight because this is kind of like a new format, free for all. Why the hell not?
we've been hijacked again.
We've been hijacked again in a good way. This is a good way. So first, I'm going to bring on Aaron. Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice.
How
to
are
see
you guys?
friend.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
There was a hiatus. There was, I'm just saying.
Well, this is to me, this is an all new thing. Oh, you have the same. You have the same three Trek figures. Oh no, never mind. That's not, I was going to say that. Just the way the screen looks. Yeah, never mind.
That's your room.
That's,
Yeah. Actually, I was enjoying looking at that because I was trying to see if I could recognize what I could recognize in the stacks.
We could turn that into a game perhaps in the future. So you know what we're doing tonight. We're just showing off some stuff.
Yeah, you said to grab whatever was new, so
yeah, why not? And Speaking of whatever is new, Mr. Tim Durling has apparently scored a Holy Grail that he is going to be showing off tonight.
There he is.
Hey
guys.
Oh,
how are you, Tim?
It's great, Mike. It is so good to be on. I've been looking forward to this all week. So it's good to see
good
all
stuff.
of you. Good to see all of you.
So you obviously know Aaron. We've talked before, and I believe you've crossed paths with Harrison once in the past.
Yes. Yep.
I have this.
Hey, rings a bell. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I have it even on display.
That's awesome, Aaron.
That's an honor. I'm in fine company because you guys got a lot of cool stuff on display. Yeah, you were just saying it's a game to pick out what's in Mike's studio. I recognize the Destroyer box set, the Def Leppard box set,
Volume 4 Super Deluxe.
And I believe there's an 8. It looked like there was an 8-track there. I couldn't see what it was, but I could see the shape.
It was Kiss Alive.
Of course, why would I know what a Kiss 8-track looked like?
I believe that came from. Well, Aaron, I think that came from Jeff Stevens. So you were involved with the Jeff Stevens 8-track purchase at one point, weren't you?
That was the Mother Lode.
Right. So Aaron, that originally came from Aaron.
Yeah, when I worked at the thrift store, somebody ditched a whole pile of old rock and whatever 8-tracks, and nobody bought them. So I bought them all, and I put them in a box, and I sent them to Jeff because I have no way to play them. And then I guess from there he distributed them as he saw fit,
which is fine.
Yeah,
because Tim ended up with one, I believe, at one point. That ended up going to
the Max Webster ones came from. No.
Yes. Yeah, I think that is the
Mother. Yeah, there were Max ones in there. Yeah,
that's the one that ended up going to Martin.
And then they ended up going to Martin. So yeah,
Martin Popoff, by the way.
Just that guy.
Still, Aaron. I haven't found Universal Juveniles on 8-track. That's an elusive one.
No, and I haven't been in there more than a handful of times since I stopped working there. So
now there's another one. Since we had Andy Curran on, the first Coney Hatch. Because he didn't even know it existed, but I found pictorial proof that it exists. And I thought, how funny would that be if it came down to me and him in a bidding war and we didn't know, like, behind the usernames who we actually were. But yeah, that's a thing that happened. There's an actual.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes peeled.
So guys, this is the way the new show goes. I believe we'll just take turns like we used to in the past. We'll just show off some cool stuff that we have available, stacks of rock, or action figures and toys, as the case sometimes is. But I have 3 things that I'm going to show off tonight. Harrison, how many do you have?
2.5, depending on, possibly 3.5, depending on how things go.
Okay, Aaron?
13.
13, okay. And Tim?
But it doesn't have to be that many.
Right. I've actually got 11. But
there you go.
You know what? We could split those in. I could split those in 2 if we want to keep.
Yeah, I was going to say, why don't we do?
Yeah.
Why don't we do 3 rounds? And you guys can show off like 3 things per round or whatever. And if it goes anything like last week, we'll probably end up deviating into awesome conversations along the road.
What?
Hopefully.
That never.
No, it would never happen. Okay, so cool. Who wants to start? Harrison?
I guess
Harrison,
I shall,
you've been nominated by the.
No, wait, no. This guy, I can't point.
There you
This
go.
I just have to point straight up. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
This is a
Yes.
lot harder to do when you're live than people think.
Well, see,
It's like backing up a trailer.
I can
Yeah, I
see
got it right.
by pointing here, but I actually need to go there.
Yes.
It's confusing as all
Yeah.
hell.
Is that a Queen shirt you've got on, Mike?
It is indeed a Queen
That's
shirt.
right on. That's cool.
I haven't got the hip
Nice.
because why not?
Why not? Harrison, you have been nominated to
All right.
kick off tonight's show and tell. What do you got, buddy?
First, am I coming through clear enough? I think my laptop's a little bit further away than usual.
I can hear you
I
fine.
can hear you good.
All right, excellent. So I'm going to throw it back to last week a bit. I did some more research into this one from last week. It's
Okay.
from 1993, which was the year of release. There was indeed no rear insert, as we speculated.
Yep.
But the other thing that I didn't notice at the time is that the disc actually has a gold. I don't know how you're going to be seeing it. It has a gold sheen to it, despite the fact that it's not a CDR. I think mainly CDRs had the gold sheen, but they deliberately made it gold to match all the orange that was going on with this one.
That is rare to see. I have a few colored CDs in my collection. I have some purple ones that are obviously deep purple. I have some black ones.
Ooh.
And the only gold ones, and Tim could back me up on this, the only gold ones that I have personally are the Mobile Fidelity, the 24 karat.
I haven't got any of those, but I've seen them.
Yeah, I've shown them off on your show, I believe, the first time we did rarities. Quick plug, Tim and I have Rarities Volume 2 coming up very soon.
Next weekend.
Very
Next
soon.
weekend.
There you go.
Very soon.
We recorded it
All right.
like two weeks ago, but yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry, Harrison, go ahead.
Sorry, I cut that off too early. Sorry. Because I deliberately packed light for this show, knowing the two heavyweights that were on with me. So
this guy right here.
Yeah, the second of my four is nothing hugely special. It's just a reissue of my favorite Slade album from 1981. The cover art channels the HMO energy there, I think.
Yeah.
It's just a really good slab of solid early 80s keyboard infused rock with a bonus track of one of the B-sides from the singles. So
Funk and junk.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of good titles here. There's sorry, which one is it? Let me see. Mahatma Coat, which is just this mournful bluesy guitar instrumental, probably mourning his hat and his coat. Yeah, so if there's ever a Slade album to start with and you for some reason don't choose to go with one of the live ones, this would be the one.
You know, I had assumed just when you showed it that was going to be a live album, but
it's the only Slade studio album I own. Everything else is live. Actually, I have a greatest hits, but yeah.
Oh, and I didn't mention this earlier, guys, but the new show format is 1 hour.
Oh, better hurry up.
Yeah, I'm gonna toss it down to Aaron now.
Toss it down to Aaron. Okay.
Okay.
Grab a stack.
Well, I am going to begin with an apology to Mr. Tim because this is fantastic. And I wrote a review of it and never posted it.
Of course.
You will have noticed the lack of KMA coverage of this. And then I got a new computer and that file is gone. So I'm going to reread this and I'm going to rewrite a review. And I'm not going to try to remember what I wrote last time because I'm not going to remember.
That's quite all right.
All apologies.
It's sold out. It's sold out anyway. It's not like there's any more for sale.
I'm rocking it because mine is signed.
Oh yeah. That was a limited. That was a strictly limited thing.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, all apologies. Life exploded.
No problem. No, don't worry about it. Listen,
I will get there.
That sounds like what I do at work all the time. Oh, did I not send that? Oh.
No, it wasn't that. I had a framework for it, and I was writing it, and then that was that. So it will get there. So the newest of the new here is this. Not even this is the rock. This, after 29 years of playing guitar poorly, this is my first tube amp.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah, and
That's
it's a little 5-watt Bugera, and it kicks butt. I just got it today.
nice.
So that is the newest of the new. I'm still figuring it out. I'm getting used to having to wait for the tubes to warm up. With all the digital ones, you just turn it on and away you go. This one, you got to wait.
That's funny.
But,
Every amp I've had has been a tube amp.
Yeah, I've had. Well, I mean, I've posted a lot about those, but about my gear and stuff. And this one was on sale, and it's really nice, all leather covered with a nice thick strap. And
Can you give us a good look at it? Or is it too heavy?
Oh, it weighs 20 some pounds.
That's a beauty. I'm going to do a zoom
Nice.
in here. Let's do a quick solo shot for there's the glory shot. Thank you, Aaron. That's awesome.
Now, it's a very simple interface, which I like.
Nice, attractive design on the front, though.
Yeah, and it's all leather. The handle and all the front, and then the grill work, and then there's this gold sort of trim. But I like it. There's a gain, a tone, a volume, a reverb, and that's it.
Simple.
Because a lot of the digital amps are, you spend half an hour just getting your sound, and you're not playing. So this, you set it up, add a little gain, whatever you want, and then you don't even look at it. You just play. You just leave it. I like the set it and forget it idea. That's my.
You like the simplicity.
Yeah, yeah. I've still got digital amps that'll,
of course,
I could fiddle with for a half an hour before I get anything done. But I like that. So that's the newest toy.
Nice.
Ordered before things happened, so we'll deal with that. But
right.
Yeah, so that's that. And then I've got a bunch of stuff that I bought, but I mean, it depends on. I'll pass it on.
Sure.
And then you
Go
guys will come back around, so I'll go through this stuff quick too.
So Tim, I'm thinking we should lead up to the Holy Grail item instead of leading with the Holy Grail.
The
item.
Holy Grail item is the second half.
Okay.
Second half.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike approached me about the new format for the show. I think it's really cool. Can lend us some just really cool, talk about stacks o' rock.
Stacks o' rock.
So I thought, there's a lot of different ways I could have gone with it. I feel like I've kind of got a brand now as being, the 8-track guy.
You definitely have that
so
brand.
I thought, okay, I'll go through some of the 8-tracks I bought over the year, and I'll talk about them. So I've got them in 2 piles. My first pile is retail.
Okay. I'm going to do a zoom in on you while you do
something else. Okay.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to go through them in chronological order.
Okay.
First one, fantastic early hard rock album, one of my favorites from the early 70s.
Ooh, yeah.
The debut Montrose album.
Nice.
This is not the hardest 8-track album to find an 8-track, but this is unusual in that it's a Canadian one because they're kind of strictly an American thing, right? I don't know how well known they were around the world, really.
Yeah.
But yeah. Songs are all mixed up as these things are. Got one here is a live album, and live albums, you could fit a lot of tape onto one of these things. So it's a double live album on one tape.
Okay.
This is REO Speedwagon.
Ooh.
Live, you get what you play for from 77. This guy right here, the original bass player Greg Philbin, recently passed away.
Oh. Wow. Rest in
So
peace.
this was their first big album, oddly enough.
Back in the day when live albums could be your first big album.
That was the period, right? A little more hard rocking than people might think from this band, but yeah, good stuff on here. So there's not a lot of 8-tracks in my collection that I would call legitimate metal.
Okay.
Here's one of them. Check this out.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Nice indeed. Long live rock and roll.
Let's see.
I had that one.
Polydor Records, Polygram, whatever, same thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, the songs are all mixed up. Sensitive Delight's the same or the last song. Kill the King is the first song on program 3. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's I don't have a lot of Rainbow. I got this one, and I've got Down to Earth, but I've had that one for a while. Another Speedwagon one. This is actually, these are some previews as to my episode that's going to be premiering in just a few hours. So you're sneak preview time here. Not the hostess sneak previews.
No, that was a good show though.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Real quick. Totally off topic, but Mike and I have talked about Much Music a lot.
Yep.
Martin Popoff, our good friend Martin Popoff, he and I were chatting about songs that had unusual instrumentation in them. We were talking about a potential idea for History in 5 songs. And I don't know if he's going to do it, but he's always talked about he's a big fan of Adrian Belew.
Okay.
And so Adrian Belew had this band called The Bears. And he sent me, I think they had 2 albums in the 80s. I'm not sure who else was in the band. My point is, he sent me the link to a video of theirs called Rise and Shine. And the video on YouTube was a sneak preview. It had the little munchie pop up with the little graphic. And I hadn't seen that in such a long time.
Wow.
Anyway, it's got nothing to do with anything.
That's fun for us Canadians who grew up on Much Music. For Harrison, he's like Harrison's like, what's Hostess?
I know. Well, Hostess doesn't even exist anymore. It's Lays, I guess. But also, if you want to see the old Spotlight graphic, go on YouTube and look for the video for Kraftwerk Trans-Europe Express. It's got the blue spotlight that goes across. Anyway, that's great nostalgia for. It's like sometimes I'll watch the old PBS logos just because, right?
Right.
Anyway, sneak preview for tomorrow's show is where I'm going with this. So this is
right.
Aria Speedwagon, A Decade of Rock and Roll, 1970 to 1980. Again, double live album. And fun thing, I went on Discogs when I got this. I took my phone, scanned the barcode, and it went right in.
Ah, no way.
Barcodes were built for the future. Compilation that you see a lot. It's not that common on 8-track. Deepest Purple.
Ooh, beauty. I love that tape.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, it's great mixed mix of purple stuff here. And last one I'm going to show you is a fun, quirky album from 1981, El Loco.
Ah, yes.
The U.S. With the Warner sticker on here.
I was going to say, is that a sticker?
The tapes, yeah. They used to do these on the tapes and records too, around 81, 82. So, so there you go. That's my first stack.
That's cool.
Okay, well, for my first stack, I have decided to unbox a box set that I've had for about 2 years that's still sealed that I just you know what I'm dealing with is a situation where I have too much stuff, right?
No.
This is the
remember when you got that
2 years ago about that.
I remember.
It's the Thin Lizzy Rock Legends box set that sold out immediately, so it's already out of print. And I'll do the close-up thing here.
Wait a minute. Should you be opening that? Will it have more value if you don't?
Oh, wait a minute now.
Oh, geez.
What? Out of print? You've got an unopened
If it's out of print, dude.
Dude, I want to listen to it.
Music has no value if it's not listened to.
Yeah. I mean, also, I don't have anything else to unbox tonight, so it's this.
Okay.
I'm starting to start sweating here like the guy in Airplane.
Yeah.
So just to read the front sticker here, 6 CDs, 1 DVD, 99 tracks altogether, including alternate versions, rarities, sessions, and previously unreleased live show from 1980. Ooh, Harrison live show. 83 tracks are previously never released on CD. 74 of those 83 tracks are never released before. The DVD includes the legendary Night on the Town performance and BBC documentary. And then there's all kinds of books inside, too, that we'll be able to take a look at in a moment. So, sorry, guys. Here we go. I know this really is... I know this is killing
Do the Daniels voice, the Rob Daniels voice.
Oh, I can't remember how the Rob Daniels, the unboxing voice, right? I can't remember how that goes. I will be preserving the sticker, of course. Tim and I have discussed preserving stickers.
I always keep the stickers, yeah.
Okay, let's get this lid off here.
Guess what? Just unboxed.
There we go.
Oh, look, another box.
Oh, yeah. That is a book. It is a hardcover. I'm just going to move my laptop back a bit here. There we go. Okay, so we'll start at the top. we have a book, Thin Lizzy on. Wow, that is quite thick.
Holy
That
smokes.
is not a trivial book.
That's more pages than Unspooled.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. That's not a knock on Unspooled, by the way. It's a great book.
No, of course not.
No. Is that like tour dates and like it's got tour dates in there?
I think this is tour. I think this is tour programs. That's what it looks like
that's
to me.
awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
I miss
man.
tour programs.
This is beautiful. It has a really nice fresh book smell. Okay, let's continue digging. Next, we have another book, Still in Love with You. This appears to be, okay. So first of all, there's memorials for the lost members.
Yes.
And then we have all kinds of testimonials from different people. I saw Geddy Lee's name a moment ago. Marco Mendoza. This seems to be just kind of testimonials from different people who love Thin Lizzy. There's Joe Elliott, Lemmy, Ian Gillan, Dan Hawkins from The Darkness, Geddy Lee, Slash, James Hetfield, Glenn Hughes, Henry Rollins.
Yes.
I'm going to try to say this in Henry's voice. The mark of a truly great band is that no matter where you are in your life, their music is still a part of it. Thin Lizzy is one of those bands you go through your life with. The power of their songs, decade after decade, remains undiminished.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty good.
Well done.
Then we
Well
have, looks like some postcards, perhaps.
Neat.
Oh, here's a diagram of the Phil Lynott sculpture, but I don't think it ended up looking like that. Let's see here. Artwork for The Rocker. I don't know if that ended up on a single or what. That looks like
Vagabonds of the Western World.
Yeah, but is that it looks different, doesn't it?
It's slightly different, yeah.
It's like the cover of a Marvel comic.
Kind of, yeah.
Well,
that,
you know what?
Yeah.
That one, The Rocker. Hold that The Rocker one up again, Mike. Again, you have to be of a certain age to get this. I'm getting Electric Company vibes from that.
I remember the Electric Company.
Sure.
We have another book here, Philip Lynott. Lyrics
Wow.
with artwork.
Oh man.
I'm guessing it's artwork by Jim Fitzpatrick.
Well, you would know for sure.
Well, I'm not a huge scholar of Thin Lizzy, but I know that he was like the art guy for them.
Designed and produced by Jack Wood, but illustrations. There's a bunch of people credited, including Jim Fitzpatrick. So a number of artists, including him. And now we're down to the nitty of the gritty, which is the CDs. Now it's interesting. They've organized these into different collections here. The first of which is actually a greatest hits album, but all like rare versions of the greatest hits, like single edits and single mixes. So yes, the greatest hits, but not necessarily the versions that you're going to get on the albums. Then we have, what did you guys say earlier about leaving it sealed?
I don't remember that.
Then we have the early years. Rarities 1. Rarities 2.
Wow.
I bet you don't know what's coming after Rarities 2.
Rarities 4, gotta be.
Yeah. 4. Oh. I was wrong.
No way.
Then we have the live show Chinatown tour.
Wow.
And finally, the DVD. Great shots on these covers, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. And that appears to be the contents of the Thin Lizzy.
Holy
box
smoke.
set.
That is doing a box set right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Holy smokes.
This was the kind of thing that if you didn't pre-order it, you basically weren't going to get it. And
And
yeah.
by putting and making the hits disc, the alternate mixes, the single mixes, that's real added value.
Yeah, I agree. You get the hits. So it's like, if you're a layman and this might be your first purchase of Thin Lizzy, let's say, you're still going to get a good listening experience with the greatest hits. So it's a win-win to me. Rare versions. And, to be honest with you, when I used to make mix CDs for buddies, Aaron, you know this, I would always put on rare versions. So like I might have put on, I don't know, the Joe Elliott remix of Jailbreak rather than Jailbreak, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is my first round.
Whoa,
so Harrison, you are up again for round 2.
All right. So this is from 2016. It is the 25th anniversary edition of Baby Animal's debut album, which is it's sort of referred to as BA25 as well. So you get the full album, obviously remastered and everything. And then you get a live show from when they were on tour in 1992 supporting Van Halen.
Yep.
This live show's cool because not only, it's live, so it's cool, but you got a chunk of non-album tracks on there. If, somebody wants to take the time and pause, they can see exactly which ones. And a cover of Jimi Hendrix's Fire as well, which is not sung by Susie DeMarchi, but instead one of the guitarists as well, which is interesting. It's the only song to not be sung by them. And there's a cool Easter egg. The back of the liner notes features basically a different version of the photo that was used on their second album.
Oh.
She was married to Nuno, wasn't she?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, at some point, yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that it?
I have another one.
Okay.
I was just there thinking, why is it going smaller? Oh, yeah, that's right. So this is a new one I got between now and the last show. This is the deluxe edition of Mondo Rock's Chemistry. And those of you who've read my blog in October would know that I did this for one of the Oztoberfest ones, and I liked it so much I went and bought out the deluxe edition. Not bought out, just bought the deluxe edition. It's basically like those Rhino ones for the Sabbath ones. You've got the opening bits with pictures and the 2 discs.
Wow.
So what you get is you get the album plus a whole bunch of plus the B-sides on disc 1 and B-sides on disc 1, and on disc 2 you get a live show, or you get some demos on disc 2 as well. And the live show is that's definitely a highlight for me. But a couple of the B-sides are great. This is from 1981 as well, so you get some of those new wave leanings in with some of the rock, which I like.
Harrison, on your top shelf there, I think I know what it is, but that blue and gray figure there.
Yeah.
What is that?
Technically, it's a transformer. Well, it is a transformer. Technically, it's a sweep, but I'm using it as a stand-in for Scourge.
I thought it was Scourge. Yeah.
Well, it's the Scourge mold. The only difference is that the mold that was actually sold as Scourge had a darker blue to match the animation, and the mold that was sold as the sweep has a toy accurate blue. So they can get your money twice.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm using it as Scourge because I didn't get Scourge. I actually prefer the lighter blue of the. I thought you were going to ask about the red car, which, that's an F40.
No, I'm sitting there like, that looks like Scourge.
and Harrison, I don't know if you remember this, but in Tim's book, there's a picture of him. Is it Christmas or your birthday?
It's Christmas 1986.
And he's playing with his brand new Ultra Magnus figure.
Magnus, yeah.
I've got a Magnus, but it's out of reach. That's Galvatron there next to Scourge, of course. And Cyclonus is out of frame.
Ah. A
The
few years
trio.
ago, I actually saw a Unicron toy, which I would have flipped over when I was a kid. I didn't even see one back then.
Yeah,
I have one.
It was big.
They didn't make a Unicron till Armada, I think, in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, that was definitely a newer issue of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they repainted that into many different versions.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I. Yeah, you know what? We did Transformers. We did Transformers last week. So.
I'm enjoying this. I really am.
Down here's the Temple of Akator.
Was that from Indiana Jones?
Yeah, it actually. If I press here, it'll.
Oh,
wait a minute, Harrison. The Temple of Akator. That's Crystal Skull, Indiana.
It is.
That doesn't count. That's not Indian. That's not my Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but it's a cool temple. So,
You know what? If we weren't already at the half-hour mark, I would detour into a discussion on Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But I'm going to instead let you either do another CD or pass to Aaron.
I'm just going to say the first 2/3 were good, and then hand it to Aaron.
Okay. And I've been hiding in the. I'm going to hide in the fridge to avoid a nuclear blast on that one.
That guy.
Okay, so I'm going to go real quick through everything I got here, just so you can. Speaking of Lego, I got this, but haven't built it yet.
Oh, hang on. What is that? I got to zoom in. Is that The Office?
That's The Office.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, you want to know something? Real quick fact about The Office, and maybe some of you know this. When my wife and I did our episode on Yacht Rock, one of the songs we talked about was Thunder Island by Jay Ferguson.
Yeah.
Jay Ferguson went on to write TV themes, including The Office, the US edition.
Oh, nice.
So when you hear, sha la 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 ma lady, that's the same guy that wrote The Office theme.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool.
Not the same cool. Jay Ferguson that's in Sloan either.
I was going to say it's not the same.
I was hoping because
that would be cool.
That really wouldn't have made sense. 1976, he wouldn't have been that old. But anyway.
Wow. So yeah, I haven't built that yet, but I'm going to. My kids, my son especially, he's 13 and he's got a Lego bricks for a brain. That's all he tells me he wants to, when he grows up, move to Denmark and be a designer.
Sounds like we could really connect.
Oh my God,
you could.
He would talk your ear off, especially right now, Star Wars Lego, but any Lego.
Yeah.
He's always saying, Dad, if you ever know anybody that's getting rid of their Lego, let me know so that I can. Anyway. So I'm going to go through real quick here everything I got, and then you guys can have the rest of the time. I'm not going to take it up. So this first one is.
Oh, Aaron, you don't have to rush because I'm done for mine.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give Tim and Mike some time too. So the first one is Dala. They're a band from Scarborough, two girls. We met them at the Knox Acoustic Cafe. Remember I used to write about those?
Yep.
They're a duo. Anyway, this was assigned. It's to Ragged Glory, which I think is awesome because that's one of my favorite Neil Young albums. But it's just a studio.
They asked you what your name was to sign it, and you said,
I bought this used. They signed that to somebody else.
So somebody else, so somebody else approached them for an autograph, and they said, "Yeah, who should we make it out to?" And he said, "Just make it out to Ragged Glory."
No, it's Pete and Dave.
Oh, Pete and Dave. So
whoever Pete and Dave are,
Ragged Glory might be their band.
It could be. It could be. They could be a Neil Young cover band.
It's a great name for a band.
Yeah. And then the next one, I bought the soundtrack for "So I Married an Axe Murderer" because I love that movie, and there's some good songs on there. Heed, Pence, no.
It's as big as Sputnik.
That is like Sputnik. Hysterical, but quite pointy in parts.
We've got a paper dune.
A paper is dune.
Cranium about.
And the next one, of course.
Oh, the new song?
I got the Sloan album.
With another
Jay Ferguson. Of course, that's the other Jay Ferguson.
There you go.
And it is really, I mean, when I say it's really good, you're going to go, yeah, Aaron's talking about Sloan.
But Aaron, how many studio albums is this for them now? I've lost track.
13.
13. Wow. Good for them.
Because the last one was called 12.
Okay.
And it had 12 songs, and
they went with the 12 theme.
Yeah. So this is the 13th album, and it is called Steady, and you should all go buy it because it is awesome, and support them.
Will do.
Makes me sad too because Deke and T-Bone were in Toronto for Maiden.
Yes. And
I did not get down to see them.
Yeah.
Or Maiden. And I felt like I was letting the community down because we were talking about it, and then I got that new job and it just didn't work. And then I was in Toronto the very next weekend, and we met up with James.
Oh yeah.
My KMA brother from the KMA Western offices. And we had planned to meet up with him. And so I didn't realize that Sloan had been at Sonic Boom on Queen Street or on Spadina in Toronto, like in between that time. Like they were there probably when Deke and T-Bone were there. They could have gone and seen them.
Wow.
There's a video on YouTube. I'm going to post it so that people can see, but they're just set up in the downstairs, just playing songs, and would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
It wasn't when we were there to see James, but James would have been there.
Yeah, he would have gone.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a bummer. And the next one I bought was the Butthole Surfers.
Hairway to Steven.
Hairway to Steven. Which is just an odd thing. And for all of you who know, Butthole Surfers went on to become Finger 11.
No, that's the Rainbow Butt Monkeys.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, Rainbow Butt Monkeys. You're right. Sorry, there was butt in the thing.
The Butthole Surfers is the Gibby Haynes who later
mistake.
did Jesus Built My Hot Rod with Ministry.
You're right.
Right.
You're right. Sorry. You're right. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Butt. There's lots of butt.
Butts. Yes. And now everybody laughed like the Minions. And the next one I got was Danny Michelle's Klebnikov.
Ooh, nice.
Which is a really cool. We love Danny Michelle. And he's a Canadian singer-songwriter, now lives around here locally. And this is a really cool thing. I think it was 2016. 2016. And he got on this Russian icebreaker, which it turns out is the first ship to circumnavigate both the Arctic and the Antarctic. There were a bunch of artists and writers, and he was on there, and Chris Hadfield, the musician, was on board. And they were just traveling through these polar regions and taking pictures and writing down their impressions and things. And so he set up a mini studio in his cabin room and made this album.
Very cool.
While they traveled through the region. So that's pretty cool. And it's Danny Michelle, so it's awesome. I got Joe Walsh's Greatest Hits. Little did he know.
There.
Which has all the songs you would ever want to hear, probably. And then, because I'm a Black Flag guy and I am just going to buy it, there's a new Off album. Off is, think about it. Black Flag, Off, they're all bug sprays.
Oh,
right?
I get it.
Right. But this is Keith Morris, the original Black Flag singer.
Okay, yeah.
And he has this new band called Off, and it is I think their fourth album. It's brand new. It's called Free LSD because of course it is.
Why not?
Yeah. And then I got the Art of Time Ensemble featuring Sarah Sleen.
Like her. She's great.
Yeah, and the Art of Time Ensemble is really cool. James actually went to see them when he was here in Toronto. Don't see any other names of musicians on here you might know. However, there you go. Danny Michelle's niece.
I didn't know that before.
He is so good. Oh my goodness. I have like all of his CDs. But there's some really cool songs on there. There's a couple Leonard Cohen covers. There's a Sarah Harmer cover, Mary Margaret O'Hara, Ron Sexsmith, Feist, and Martin Tielli.
Nice.
From the Rio Statics. So there's a lot of cover tunes on this, which is pretty cool. And then there's another soundtrack.
I remember that.
Yeah. I've never heard it, but there's a lot of bands on here that I really like. Radiohead and Chris Cornell and Soundgarden and Guar's on there. Yeah.
Cop Shoot Cop, Babes in Toyland.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff on there. I don't know if even the songs are any good, but I like the bands.
Very nice.
Radiohead is Creep. So, I mean, if you're tired of that song, it's not any kind of a rarity. The last two were, I got a DVD called Being Mick.
I remember when that was on Much Music.
Yeah.
Who's Mick? That's not Jagger, is it?
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like him.
What are you talking about? Of course it does.
I don't see it at all.
That's
okay, there I do.
Yeah. It's Mick Jagger. Okay. What are you looking at?
Not
this face. This
No,
face.
not that face. The yellow eye, just I don't know. It doesn't look like him. It looks like David Hasselhoff or something.
What?
Oh, okay. All right. Have another one, Mike.
Yeah. It's actually about Mick Mars.
Mick's
Yeah,
mom.
no, this is it's a documentary, I guess. I don't know. It's just it's an hour-long thing that says find out what it's like being Mick.
I have a feeling that you're not going to feel like you're Mick after that.
No. But it's Stones related, so I bought it.
Yeah, of
I
course.
remember that was on Much Music in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Was it any good?
Oh, so he was a lot
I
younger.
watched like one portion of it.
Okay. Yeah, 2001.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was
and then
his version of a reality show.
Oh God, I can only imagine. I hope they show. That's one of my favorite things. Keith Richards is the only person on the planet who can call Mick Jagger Brenda and get away with it. And he calls him Brenda because apparently Mick, when he's on his own, is a little old lady. He has this quaint little apartment with doilies and just British looking
Of course he
stuff
does.
everywhere. And he's just this little old person when he's not being Mick Jagger. He's so he calls him Brenda, which I think is fantastic. So I hope that's in there.
I'm kidding.
And then the last thing I bought, I already had.
Oh, it's a duplicate.
So it's a book. So for Deke, if he's watching, Mr. Books is here. And this is Sam Sutherland's Perfect Youth. And it is the birth of Canadian punk.
Ooh.
So it's the story going back into the 70s, probably, of bands starting out, probably DOA and all that stuff.
Subhumans.
Yeah, DOA, the Subhumans, Vile Tones, Teenage Head. And it says here, a forgotten musical and cultural history of drunks and miscreants, future country stars, and political strategists. So
Political
clearly
strategy.
they went on to other things after their little punk run when they were, but I already had this book. So I have an extra copy now, I guess.
Well, that's okay. You gift it,
Yeah, you know how you
re-gift it
buy
as you
things
often do.
Well, you buy things thinking, hey, that looks cool. And then you get home and you realize you already had it.
I've done that many times, including on our Toronto show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's the everything, I think.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to do only one more. I'm going to do only one more thing myself, so we can give Tim the floor for the majority of the rest. I'm only going to do one more thing after this. So, Tim, I give you the floor.
Okay, so now we're into part 2 of my stack of 8 tracks. Now we're into the RCOs I found this year. RCOs, Record Club only 8 tracks.
Yeah.
Not ones you could find in stores, going on creeping through the 80s, long after your average person on the street would have thought they'd quit making them. So I'm going to go through them in chronological order. We're going to start in 1982. And oddly enough, I started my first pile with Montrose. So I'm going to start my second pile with this.
Sammy Hagar. Which one?
3-Locked Box.
That is 3-Locked Box. Okay.
From 1982. One of 2 8 tracks I have on the Geffen label. The other one is Sammy's Standing Hampton. Geffen was a new label as of 1980, so there aren't a lot of Geffen 8 tracks.
Okay.
Next one is one of my favorite bands. The reason that I call my show What I Do. This is Kansas Drastic Measures. If anyone knows the song Fight Fire with Fire, that's on this album. This is from 1983. Oddly enough, for a Columbia House tape, it's got a red border around here instead of usually it's blue, like that. This one's got a red one. This is very, very rare. It's on CBS, CBS Associated to be exact. Another one from 1983. What's that?
Cool.
Oh,
that's all.
Another one from 1983. One of my all-time favorite melodic rock bands and one of their best albums, definitely the best-selling album. Night Ranger, Midnight Madness.
Blue Border once more.
Yeah. And on Camel MCA Records.
Camel.
Remember Camel at all?
Camel.
Did it come with a pack of smokes?
Camel was Bruce Bird's label. Bruce Bird used to be with Casablanca, but Camel was like a label that was distributed by MCA. Night Ranger were on it. Who else? There weren't many. Was Jufria on that label? I know they were on MCA. Anyway, my mind's been scarred from too much school, so I can't remember important things. Anyway, Midnight Madness. Now, you may be watching this thinking,
Chris is currently bidding at an auction on 4 Kiss 8 tracks. Do you know that not too long ago I looked on eBay and somebody had Lick It Up on 8-track? It was $400.
Ouch. Ouch.
Is that a good price, or is that just somebody who would
that's
buy
the first time in all of these years I've seen it come up on eBay.
Wow.
So I guess you could consider that a good price since there's nothing else to go by.
That's right. Like put it this way, it's the best price I've seen.
Right, because
which should give you an idea. But you guys all know Kiss fans are crazy, right?
Crazy nights.
So, some of you may be watching this thinking, hold on a minute, Tim. I know you. You work in radio in Canada. You should know that the Canadian airwaves should have a certain amount of Canadian content. I'll fix that right now.
Aha, Thunder 7.
Now
look at that blue border.
Yeah.
It's only on the sides.
I know. Well, yeah, but it goes so good with the artwork.
That's interesting, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I love this album. I've owned this album on tape for years and years. I know it inside out. And if I had Never Surrender, I'd have all of the Triumph 8 tracks.
Wow.
But that's not the Holy Grail. That's not the Holy Grail. I can hear if you picture in your mind an ominous synth tone that keeps growing, it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Europe's Final Countdown.
1986
on 8-track. Yes,
I can't even.
By now they're using the clear colored ones. My Journey Raised on Radio looks like this too. But yeah, this is a heavy one for. I didn't think I'd ever find this, and I might add, this is now 100% of the Europe 8-track collection. This is the only
100%
made it to this format. But yeah, I'm pretty blown away because to me, this is just this is such a quintessential late 80s album, and so to see it in this format,
that's bizarre.
Let me try and play this here for you. Here, no, it doesn't work.
Now, who the heck bought that in 1986? You got to wonder who with an 8.
Someone who subscribed to Columbia House in the United States, and probably someone that forgot to change their selection card of the month from 8-track to cassette.
God, I remember.
Either that or
they ended up with this.
Their early 80s Camaro still had a 8-track deck.
Maybe. The songs are. For those, do you guys want to hear the song listing on?
Actually, I do, because it'll be mixed up, right?
Oh, it'll be totally mixed. Okay, so
let's hear it.
It does start. Okay, program 1 is The Final Countdown, Love Chaser,
which is on side 2 normally.
Danger on the Track, beginning. Program 2 is Danger on the Track, conclusion, Cherokee, and On the Loose. Program 3 is Rock the Night, Heart of Stone, Time Has Come, beginning. And program 4 is Time Has Come, conclusion, Carrie, and Ninja.
They end the album with Ninja.
Yeah.
And the second track is Love Chaser, which is the album closer normally.
Yeah. So Final Countdown on 8-track.
So
it's not the newest. It's not the newest. In years that I have, but it's pretty cool.
So here's what I want to do. I want you to email me that track listing, and then I'm gonna put it together in my computer. I'm gonna listen to it in that order.
I'll just take a picture of the back cover and send it to you.
Yeah, I gotta hear it in that order.
I've gone through this with different bands. You could make some really, really annoying versions of some of these albums where you just go, why is that song next? Why is this fade out in the middle?
I get the feeling that this will be an annoying version of the album, but the one that I listen to won't even have the gaps between the songs. It'll still be annoying.
So I have a question. Go ahead, Harrison. Go ahead, Harrison.
I was going to say, just imagine if Iron Maiden removed Gangland from Number of the Beast and put on Total Eclipse. Wouldn't that be annoying? Or what if they reissued the album without Total Eclipse because they wanted to match the original UK track listing? Wouldn't that be annoying? Well, I don't understand Maiden. As time goes on, they take songs off their albums when they reissue them instead of putting the bonus tracks on. It boggles my mind. That doesn't make any sense. I will say this about Iron Maiden. To my knowledge, they don't have any RCOs. But the first 3, self-titled, Killers, Number of the Beast, command some of the highest prices
for 8-track tapes because I think they only came out in the States on Capitol.
More than
And
likely.
they are highly, highly in demand because metal, man, like people, it comes down to not so much that they're 8-tracks, it's the bands are highly collectible. So people want it, and then they get their hands on. So somebody, if they haven't yet, they're going to spend that money on that Lick It Up 8-track. I know they are.
Yeah, for sure.
See, I have a question about that Europe.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I thought you were going to say, and the Holy Grail I got was the $400 copy of Lick It Up.
No,
that would have been awesome. I talked him down to $375. No,
yeah. Spent twice that
my
in
question
shipping.
is, how does the track order get that messed up on an 8-track? Like, was it spacing?
Yes.
Like, because
it's to make
exactly it.
It's to make each of the 4 programs as close in length as possible, so that there isn't a lot of space at the end of one of them because you can't rewind these things. You can only fast forward them. Right. But that's why.
Because I was thinking, like, I've got Phil Collins, but seriously, and the CD and the cassette that I had, I got so used to that track order, and then I finally found an LP and I got it in. And it was I think it's a UK, and it's a different track order, and it completely messed me up.
Well, sometimes UK and North American ones,
right? That's what I was thinking.
Anyone that collects Beatles, they'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Beatles is a mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wondered if maybe it was a spacing thing. So
yeah, it's definitely a spacing thing with 8-tracks because they want to pack as much music as they can onto each of those programs, so you don't spend a lot of time. Like I said, fast forwarding through 2 minutes worth of empty space.
Yeah.
Right.
Conserve the amount of cost that they put into cassette.
I guess.
Tape.
Yeah, I guess. And plainly they didn't care. The record labels did not care.
That's clear.
Really,
artistic vision. What's that?
Yeah. It kind of surprises me, but I guess, as far as hard rock bands go, this was a very, very successful pop, crossover album.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that Columbia House was a division of CBS Records, so it probably cost a lot less because it's not like they had to license it from Polygram or Capitol or something, right?
Plus, it's huge, and guys with Camaros that still have tape decks, 8-track tape decks, and are looking for that song. So,
Camaro.
That's going to sound badass when I roll down my windows.
Yeah,
I just had a flash of a guy. We used to live in Montreal, and there was a guy who drove around in an 80s. Was that an IROC or what was that? It was like a Camaro, but it looked like a wedge. Anyway, and it had a sunroof.
Fiero? I don't know.
No, it was longer. Anyway,
well, there was an IROC. My wife's uncle used to have one, or he might still have it. I don't know if it runs here.
Yeah, this might be the guy. Does he live in Montreal? Anyway,
absolutely not.
He used to drive around downtown, right on St. Catherine Street, and right down, like going down Yonge Street in Toronto, right down the main drag, in this car in a black leather jacket with Judas Priest cranked.
Nice.
Just rocking out. I don't even know how he drove because he was pumping his fist and he was singing along, and he was.
I love it.
But when you said Camaro, that's what it made me think of, right? Is it some guy who was listening to this in his car?
I'm going to segue that into a different kind of car. Because for my last thing, I'm going to show you, it's this.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Is that vintage?
No. So here's the story.
Oh, it's a model.
Yes. Harrison knows this. I have Eliminator in the other room. There's lots of photos on my website, actually. If you go on my website and search for Eliminator, I built it when I was in high school. But then a couple of years ago, I discovered that my dad, while dusting, knocked off and lost one of the side view mirrors. So to make it up for me, my dad bought me a brand new Eliminator. Now, I believe my original was put out by Monogram. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Kevin Buried on Mars told me that Revell bought Monogram's molds.
Okay, it sounds right.
So I have not yet built this Eliminator, but the idea is to take another shot at it.
So, Mike, if you lose your rearview mirror,
it's my fault.
You could be arrested for driving while blind.
No, there is the side view mirror in question.
Nice.
Actually, no, It was a headlight. Sorry. It was a headlight that he knocked off. There's the headlights. I could, in theory, just replace the headlight, but after consulting my good friends online, they all suggested I just take another crack at building it from scratch. I love chrome. I love the chrome pieces.
Once you get that built, Mike, don't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sorry.
9 foot is all right, but not 10.
Lots of red. This was a fun little model kit to build back in the day. There's the windows and the
wow.
if you can see that, the little glass headlights right there. And 4 rubber tires, and even the rubber tires are on a little sprue, and they require some trimming. I'm gonna have to get my I bought like plastic nippers and all kinds of stuff for removing the parts from the sprue. And I just, it's been 2 summers and I still haven't built it. I really should get around to it. It doesn't even require a lot of painting, because that's my ringtone, by the way. Just if you want to hear my ringtone. It's my ringtone. It's an 866 number. Oh, you know what? That's probably going to give me a copyright strike.
Yeah, really. Dennis DeYoung's lawyers are knocking at my door as we speak. Anyway, it doesn't require a lot of paint, really. The car is mostly red. I believe there's a decal sheet in here. At least my original. Yep, there it is. The original had a decal sheet, and there it is. So you can see the ZZs are just decals. There's some other detail here. There's a license plate. Nice. That's very
and actually, this brings back memories for me as a kid. Decals were hard. Like, I'd always put them on, and then they'd never be quite straight, and then they'd tear. Yeah, that's a nice album there, buddy. You know what I mean, though, right? Like how you'd screw up a decal, and
yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
We'll do a quick solo layout here.
I've got Afterburner up on the wall. I don't have Illuminate.
Show it again, Tim.
It's kind of faded. This one's been in the sun, I think, but it didn't cost me all that much.
Anyway, at some point, I really should get around to building my. This is, what does it say for scale? It doesn't say. It used to always say the scale. Oh, there it is, 124 scale. Eliminator. I would like to build that maybe next summer. We'll get around to it.
Take it to the cottage.
Anyway, that's all I had, guys. Before we go, though, I wanted to quickly delve into a discussion about songwriting. I'm not a musician. Aaron is probably the more musical one of us. I know, Tim, you've got a history with drumming. But last weekend, actually, Jen and I collaborated and wrote a little song, Grab a Stack of Rock with the Mad Metal Man. And it came together in the course of a few hours. I fell asleep with this chorus in my head, this grab a stack of rock with the Mad Metal Man. And the next day, Jen started just shooting out verses. And we kind of came up with a song, and we sang it for T-Bone. And the way we sang it was kind of more slow. I pictured it more slow, more bluesy. And then we handed it over to T-Bone, and it came out completely different. And that's not a bad thing. But it surprised me because it's my first experience kind of collaborating, And I kind of now I understand how when a band works together, one guy comes in with a song and he brings it to the rest of the band, and it can turn out completely different.
Yeah.
And you end up with sometimes these bitter band members that are like, well, it was better before so and so laid his grimy hands on it.
That only happens when something bad happens between those two. When it's a big hit, everybody thinks it's, he took it and really improved on it. But
unless somebody received less writing credit for the song than they feel they deserve. So I want to say for the record that Jen and I, we deserve 1/3 writing credit each with T-Bone. So just to close the show tonight, before we say goodnight, I wanted to play the version that I sent T-Bone, and then the final version that I shouldn't say final. He's still revising it. But here is Grab a Stack of Rock, written by Jen and myself, as we submitted it to T-Bone. Have a listen.
It's Friday night and we're off to the races. Come on down and see familiar faces. Uncle Meat, Rob Daniels, Jon Snow. Gimli the cat, this is the place to go. Grab a stack of rock with Mike and the Mad Metal Man. Grab a stack of rock with Mike and the Mad Metal Man. T-Bone's here, it's time for a party, and Chris Saw's got the comments started. Grab a stack of rock with Mike and the Mad Metal Man.
So admittedly, we didn't have much there, but we gave it to T-Bone, and he, as you heard at the start of the show, he came out with this, and the melody's a little different, and the song is completely in a different direction than I envisioned it. So here's T-Bone.
That demo can be a bonus track on his album.
That's what I was going to say.
I get
That's
all the
how
writing,
you get all your Japanese bonus tracks, Mike.
but he gets no writing credit on that version. He only gets writing credit on this version.
Friday night, we're off to the races. Come and see familiar faces. Uncle Meat, Rob Daniels, Jon Snow. Gimli's here, it's the place to go. Grab a stack of rock with Mike and the Mad Metal Man. Grab a stack of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. T-Bone's here, it's time for a party. And Chris Saw's got the comments started. Grab a stack of rock with Mike and the Mad Metal Man. Grab a stack of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Grab a stack of rock. Grab a stack of rock.
To my ears, those are very different versions of the same song, and I'm kind of proud of that.
It's cool.
awesome.
You know, Mike, when I hear that, when I grab a stack of rock, you know who I think of? That sounds like a Helix title to me.
It kind of does. Yeah, it does. The guys, I mean, Helix are kind of the experts of using the word rock in
Oh,
a
yeah.
song title, you know? The eat, sleep, rock, my friend. Well, that's it for tonight. Thanks for joining me, guys. We always
for
like to go out on a music video. And, you know, I have the same selection of music videos that I had in the past. You guys want to hear one of our favorites? Yeah. What? Sorry, Aaron, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I didn't say a word. Just one word. Community. That's all
I
I
think I
said.
heard ODB.
Community? You mean okay? I think that we'll do that then. All right. Well, thanks.
Only the best song ever.
Did we, Harrison? Did we play Community last week or no?
No,
Oh,
we played Buried on Mars.
Okay,
tonight
good.
as
Let's play
well.
Community then. Let's go with it. Tim, thank you so much. So again, sorry, what are you dropping as your next show in a couple of hours?
New episode will be about 8 or 9 hours from now. And next weekend, Mr. Ladano and I, part 2 of Rare CDs.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's
A lot of
it's a good
Japanese
one.
imports.
It was fun, and it's going to be fun when other people can see it too.
Yeah. All right, boys. Thanks for joining me tonight. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you another time. Take care, guys.
Thanks for
Ciao.
having me.
In the fall of '06, somewhere in the sticks of southern Ontario, we planted a seed, had a yearning need we couldn't get from the stereo. Started out as two and it slowly grew into a passionate fraternity. No matter where I roam, it's always home from here to eternity. It's where we'll thrive. and fly the black flag all the way back home. If you eat shit flowers, I ain't got time. Don't matter what we find, it's the glue that binds, you see. It's where we'll thrive with immunity, and it keeps me alive. Community, it's my community. Community, it's my community. It's where we'll thrive with immunity, and it keeps me alive. Community, it's our community. Community, community, community. Community, it's our community. Community, 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 it's our community. Community, 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 it's our community.
Hola desde Cuba a la comunidad de Aaron.